Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of the English small batch release wine cask matured. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of the English small batch release wine cask matured 2020. This is my first foray into whisky from the English Whisky Company, and I received this as part of my bi-monthly Somerton Whisky Club subscription, and I got it for the princely sum of £50. It came out on general release a week after I received it from the Somerton Club, so it's always nice to get a bottle before it goes on general sale. The whisky itself is wine cask matured in second fill Cabernet Sauvignon casks, and it's a smidge under 7 years old. The distillery itself is called the St George's Distillery in Norfolk and is currently our oldest English whisky distillery. Having not had a whisky distillery in England for over 100 years, the guys at the English Whisky Company decided to set up in England, and that was just about 14 years ago. They're about to be 14 years in December. So, should we find out what it tastes like? On to the whisky. Right, so before I nose and taste it, I'll tell you a few finer details about the liquid inside the bottle. It's one of 1,507 bottles. It was distilled in November 2014 and bottled in August 2020. It's 46% ABV, but I don't know if it's chill filtered or coloured because it doesn't say so on the bottle or the box. If you know any more details, then let me know in the comments. Otherwise, let's look at the colour. I'd say that's a nice sort of tawny colour. There is a nice reddish hue in there, and that obviously gets it from the wine barrels. Let's hope this is uncoloured. Let's try it on the nose. So there is like a vegetal note. When I first nosed this out of the bottle for the first time, I picked up like almost like a McDonald's Big Mac sauce. It was quite an acidic, sort of pickly, sort of slightly off vegetal note, but it's not that unusual any longer. I'm getting almost like a fruity jamminess, like raspberries. And that sweetness turns to icing sugar. And there's almost like a hint of like leafy tobacco in the background. Let's try it on the palate. So it's quite viscous. It's got a nice mouth coating. It's fruity. It's malty, and there's quite a lot of heat and pepper. It builds up quite quickly on that first sip. Let's have another sip and tell you what else I find. Yeah, so there's a slight savouriness, along with lots of berries. It really is like raspberries and strawberries and, you know, definitely red berries. There's a slight yeasty note, and I think it does remind me a little bit of the Dartmoor 3-year-old Bordeaux cask. The sort of balance of those savoury sort of yeasty notes along with that jamminess from the wine. It's very similar. If you haven't seen that review, I'll put a link in the description. One final sip. Yeah, so for me, I'd say the sweetness and savoury really balances quite well. The heat and the pepper does build, and it becomes a bit of a prickle, so it's definitely a dram that you don't want to sip too much too often. There's a slightly tannic bitter wood note on the finish, and I'd say it's got a decent length finish. it's medium, maybe even verging on long. But yeah, it's really quite nice. At £50, I think it's pretty good value. It's a 70cl bottle, and I think retail it's just under 60. So even at retail, I think it's not too bad. It's probably not one that I'd rush out and buy another bottle, even though I don't mind wine cask finishes. It's one that I think I'll definitely enjoy, but I think I'd like to try something different from the English next time, rather than depriving, you know, somebody of such a short stash of bottles, as there's only 1,500 available. If you like the sound of it, why not go and get one? And if you like the sound of the Somerton Club, you can always join them and get the bottles that I do every couple of months. I'll see you on the next one. Sauncha.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.